Questions without notice. The Leader of the Opposition.
Thanks, Mr Speaker. And my question is addressed to the Prime Minister. Every member of this parliament agrees that reducing the appallingly high rate of veteran suicide in Australia should be an absolute priority. We have both met with Julianne Finney, whose son David, a veteran, died earlier this year and whose petition has already attracted 250,000 signatures. Will the Prime Minister agree with Mrs Finney's calls, join with Labor and establish a Royal Commission into veteran suicide?
The Prime Minister has the call.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I met with Julianne Finney just last week here in Canberra, and we had another very productive discussion. Her son David had died by suicide earlier this year, and I also met with many other parents in Sydney recently to discuss their proposal for a Royal Commission to be held into veteran suicide. We all know that the rate of mental illness amongst veterans is unacceptably high. The suicide rate for ex-serving men aged under 30 is 2.2 times that for Australian men of the same age, and about a third of those who have left the ADF in the past 5 years have reported high to very high levels of psychological distress. Mr Speaker, this has been a matter that has been made a national priority by my government as part of its broader focus on our Towards Zero goal to address mental health issues and to address suicide prevention. And Christine Morgan has been appointed as the National Suicide Prevention Advisor. We have held quite a number of detailed policy sessions with officials, including with the heads of the Defence Force and those directly responsible in the Department of Veterans Affairs, and have been working through the many challenges. And there are many changes, I want to stress, that are being made, both in the way that the Defence Force operates and how the Department of Veterans Affairs operates. And I want to thank the Department, and I want to thank the ADF for the changes that are made. And I said to Julianne, I said, I wish that those arrangements had been in place when her son had been in the Defence Force. I wish they had been in place for all of those Australians who've served and has passed away as a result of their own hand, who've served in our Defence Forces. And the lessons are being put into place. Now, I have remained open to this question, and I remain open to this question. I'm working closely with the Minister for Veterans Affairs, and I must say I'm working closely with the veterans who are in this chamber, and I would welcome that input and feedback from veterans on the other side of the chamber. And only today I met with the member for Herbert and many of his serving friends to talk about these very issues. And I've given an undertaking that we will continue to reflect on these things over the break before making a decision on this matter. But I can assure you of this. What I am seeking to do is ensure that whenever a veteran has sadly taken their life, whether in the past or, sadly, I'd like to say it'll never happen again in the future, but no one can stand at this dispatch box and say that on every single occasion there must be justice, there must be accountability, there must be learnings, and there must be change. And that's what I'm committed to and my government.